Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's Roshan Mohammed Salih here, the editor of Five Pillars. And as you all know, Switzerland has voted narrowly to ban the niqab in a referendum yesterday. I believe the vote was very close, something like 51% backed the vote and 49% rejected it. There are very few niqabis in Switzerland. But anyway, I wanted to get a quick reaction to this story. So let's go straight to Ferah Ulucay, who is the Secretary General of the Islamic Central Council of Switzerland. Ferah, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I'm okay. Thank you so much.
What's your instant reaction to the referendum yesterday?
You know, as a Muslim who born and grew up here in Switzerland, this decision is very disappointing, because the initiators managed to politically instrumentalize Islamophobia, and they ensured it to our federal constitution. And now the state government has to take actions for us Muslims, to protect us Muslims as a minority in this country, because Islamophobia is real and Islamophobia is dangerous.
It's quite difficult for me to understand sitting here in London, because, I mean, I've been to Switzerland many times. There don't seem to be many niqabis at all in Switzerland, yet they've taken this decision. And you yourself said, I think your organization said, that when the minarets were banned in Switzerland in 2009, Islamophobia has actually got a lot worse since then. How do you explain this, and especially given the very few niqabis or women who wear a burqa in Switzerland?
So first of all, in whole Europe, Islamophobia is spreading, not only in Switzerland. And the second point is, it's actually very interesting, because as you mentioned, 2009, they banned the minaret here in Switzerland. And we Muslims took this as a chance to be more open for our society, for the media, and show how we really are. So I can surely say we took everything in our power to this prejudice to small them, so they don't have this anymore about us Muslims. But as what do we see? Islamophobia is still growing. For me personally, that means as a Muslim, you can do whatever you want to do. Islamophobia is growing. What now is very important is that the government take right actions to protect the Muslims from Islamophobia.
What actions do you want them to take?
They have to have a clear position that they don't accept Islamophobia, as they don't accept anti-Semitism, as they don't accept racism. If they really want to have a social peace, they have to take these actions, because Islamophobia is not only dangerous for us Muslims, Islamophobia radicalizes also their society, and we see that the right parties are growing almost day by day.
Yeah. So this referendum wasn't really about the niqab, was it, or the burqa? It was more about Islam.
Of course. I mean, we have about 30 women here in Switzerland who wear the niqab. There is no record that any of these women ever was criminal in this country. So, and to be honest, it's the same committee who already banned the minaret in 2009. So what is important for us Muslims now is that we are not naive. It's not about niqab, it's not about the minaret. They have a problem with Islam in general. And what we see now is they are very open, so they reject the ban the niqab, and that shows us they have a problem with us Muslims. They have a problem the way we are, the way we dress, and what we believe.
I mean, Switzerland is not it's not a country like France or Britain where there have been attacks on your soil by ISIS, etc. So there's no perceivable threat that Islam poses to Switzerland. So do you blame, I don't know, the mainstream media in Switzerland or the politicians for scaremongering?
Yes, of course you can blame them, and you can also blame the politicians, especially now in Switzerland. They built this scenario as we would live in Iran or in Kabul or wherever. When we go back to the reality, we are speaking about 30 women who are covering their faces. I mean, when we speak about France, and the political used a lot this example that in France the Muslims are going crazy, they want more rights, etc. But when we see France is not more safe or secure as it was before the niqab ban, So it is very hypocritical. It is not, it is you cannot accept it rationally what's going on here.
And how are Muslims in Switzerland feeling today?
We are sad. I mean, how could you ever feel happy when this major of the society shows you very openly that they are against the way you dress, the way you are, what you believe? You cannot feel happy. You will feel automatically sad. And especially as a Muslim, me personally, I born and grew up in Switzerland. This is my hometown. And to be rejected this openly from the society, that hurts. But I want to be clear at this point. We don't give up. We will never give up Islam. We will never give up our rights, and we will fight for our rights because we did nothing wrong at this point.
But the referendum was quite close. I thought, looking at the media, that it was going to be a clear result in favor of the ban, but it was extremely close. 49% of Swiss people voted against the ban. Does that give you some hope?
Yes, I was very happy that it wasn't that obvious as was Yes, that made me actually happy, because when we go back to 2009, almost 58% of the people said yes to the minaret. So for me, it is a sign that our rational arguments to the society was heard by them. So we could at least bring it down to 51%, but still Islamophobia is real, and still 51% said yes. And Islamophobia is not only banning niqab. Islamophobia is also this feeling that we don't want you here in Switzerland or in Europe. So our eyes have to be open, our ears have to be open, so we can understand the situation correctly.
And I understand that the Islamic Central Council of Switzerland, you basically vowed to pay fines for the niqabis who might get a fine because of this new law. You're going to take it to court, etc., in test cases. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And perhaps if, I don't know, 5 Pillars readers want to support you, how can they do that?
Yes, I would like to do that. So before I go to there, the Islamic Central Council was founded 2009, shortly before the minaret ban, because there was not a good Islamic representation of Muslim here in Switzerland. And what we said, we will always protect the Islamic normativity. What does that mean? The niqab belongs to the Islamic normativity as the prayers, as the hijab, as everything else. So what our goal is to protect this. And for that, we're going to support these women who holds on this Islamic normativity, who holds on the deen. So if they are going to be, we are going to pay the fines when they got one from the police. And for that, we need the support of the whole ummah. So it doesn't matter if you live in Switzerland or not, you can donate with our money pool on PayPal for these sisters. And the other goal is that we can bring this case on a legal action to the court, so we can show we are going to fight, we will never accept Islamophobia. Okay,
inshallah, perhaps we'll leave a link to your PayPal donation under the video after we finish. Ferah, I think you're joining us from Bern today, aren't you? Is it Bern or Zurich?
No, I am from the capital of
from Bern. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us today. And inshallah, we'll speak to you soon at some point in the future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.